right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our virtual fireside chat. My name is Michelle Lerner. I am Director of Business Development at Branch. For those of you who don't know Branch, we are actually the leading technology in mobile deep linking and attribution. I am joined here today by Lincoln Beppu. Lincoln, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi. Thanks for having me. My name is Lincoln Beppu. I'm the Director of Mobile Marketing for Hotwire, which is part of Expedia Group. I also oversee merchandising and affiliate marketing for Hotwire.
Awesome. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you're using Branch today?
Yeah, Branch has been a big part of our focus this year in 2020 because we've been increasing our functionality across app. So really trying to grow our mobile app usage, and Branch has given us a great way to be able to track data and in real time be able to see how our campaigns are performing and how well we're able to convert customers.
Awesome. We love to hear that. Um, so speaking about reaching customers and looking at your campaigns, just curious recently, like how have your marketing communications or campaigns evolved to meet customers' changing needs, especially now in the world of COVID?
Yeah. This year has been obviously quite a year. The travel industry has gotten punched in the mouth pretty hard with everything that's gone on, and from Hotwire's perspective, we've done our best to try and just keep up with the changes as they come about, right? Like if you go back to March, that's when obviously our industry got flipped on its head, and our number one priority was just to take care of our customers with existing reservations. Everyone was more worried about being safe and making sure that their families were taken care of. So when it came to things like travel, and Hotwire is best known for leisure travel, so taking kind of spontaneous trips and getting great deals on hotels and car rentals. We knew what was most important, which was just to try and help customers who now had to change their plans and getting them taken care of and refunded if they had to cancel.
Yeah, I love that you said that because like I think a lot of the times things can get lost in just obviously an underlying business model. And while like businesses obviously want to make money, I love what you said there about really being empathetic to your customers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I think everyone had bigger, more important things to worry about than trying to get their reservations canceled and things like that.
Mhm.
So, in order to truly be empathetic to customers, I think it starts with understanding that everyone has different comfort levels right now, right? Like I think some people are more comfortable with traveling, some people aren't ready yet, and that's totally understandable. So what we've been trying to do is, well, I guess first, back when this happened in March, our entire engagement marketing team actually shifted into customer service mode. So, our customer service team wasn't equipped and wasn't built to, cancel tens of thousands of reservations at one time. And so that was kind of our first priority, was to get those customers taken care of. But after that, there was kind of this, for lack of a better word, just a broad pause in all of our outbound communications until we saw signals that travel was starting to come back and that people were feeling a little bit more comfortable. And then at that point, we shifted to more user level signals to try and understand, okay, which of our customers are more interested in or might be considering booking a hotel again, or might need a rental car. And so that's kind of where we've used more like shopper data to provide a signal, and we've tried to be more targeted with our campaigns as opposed to broadly sending out like sales and emails to all of our customers, because half of them might not be ready to travel yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can imagine that just added level of personalization, just given like where each of those customers kind of are in their, not just their like Hotwire journey or, the route to convert, but also just where they are in terms of like their COVID journey, probably
Yeah.
was a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're kind of in this, like from a travel industry perspective, this period of uncertainty. We don't know when things are going to get back to normal. We have seen that, especially towards the end of the summer, we saw bookings start to pick up again,
Mhm.
which, I think is a good sign from a business perspective, but it just shows that I think hopefully our customers are more well informed about what the risks involved of traveling are. That's been a priority for us, is to make sure that we're giving customers really clear information on, what the travel policies are regarding like cancellations, and what safety precautions are being taken at our hotels. What they can expect from just a safety perspective.
Yeah.
So like as we've seen, I think towards the end of summer, people felt a bit trapped in their homes, and were working from home, just needed to get out. And so we've definitely seen some changes in how customers are traveling. I think probably the biggest change that we've seen is that customers might not be looking to travel across the country anymore, right? Like a lot of people are traveling a lot more closer to home, kind of getting their family into a car, and doing more getaways as opposed to flying across the country. And so that's one way that we've definitely tried to change how we message, and what's relevant and personalized to those customers is based on geography signals, and
Mhm.
the geographical signals that customers are giving us, and we can help bring them more relevant deals and messaging.
That's awesome. It sounds like you guys have like the existing customer engagement stuff and the personalization pretty set. Curious about, I know you said there was an uptick now, like in the summer, with summer kind of coming to an end. What is the new strategy for kind of shifting from that like engagement piece now to maybe picking up on customer acquisition again? Is that something that you're thinking about doing anytime soon?
Well, I think that we're hopefully able to do both. We certainly want to, find new customers, and we're always excited to be able to show the value that the Hotwire offers. Just to kind of frame like what our value proposition is, because it is a little bit different from most online travel agencies.
Mhm.
What we specialize in is just phenomenal deals, right? Like we can offer up to 60% off of retail rates. And the way that we're able to do that is we use what we call Hot Rate, which is kind of a mystery hotel or car rental model, meaning that you don't get to see the name of the hotel before you
Mhm.
book it, but we give you all of the most important details, like what neighborhood they're based in, like the star rating, customer review scores, and amenities. So you have a good idea of what you're booking, and that's how we're able to drive really good discounts.
Mhm.
So that piece, I think, doesn't change from our strategy. That's again kind of what differentiates us in the market.
Mhm.
I think the way that we're trying to really build engagement is through app usage.
Yeah.
App is a really good fit for our customers' needs, because they book so much on the last minute, on the go. We're seeing a ton of bookings come in on either the same day arrival or for next day arrivals. And that's actually, I guess, a bit of a travel hack or secret. I mean, that's how you can get the best deals, because hotels and car rentals are looking to unload their inventory at the very last minute.
Mhm.
And so that's why they turn to us as partners. Is we can protect their rates and protect their brand by using a mystery hotel approach, but we can also get customers great deals. And so we want to get customers more engaged on our app, because that's the easiest and most flexible way to be able to book for Hotwire.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that actually across all of our customers is they're kind of pushing their users into the app because they see higher order value, more engaged users. All of the information is saved, which is really easy for users to convert. Curious what channels and what methods you're using to drive your users into the app.
Yeah. So um, I guess I'll start by saying that the Hotwire is actually about to celebrate its 20th birthday, which for an internet
Wow.
company is actually, makes us, I don't want to say senior citizens, but we've been around for a while. We have a pretty well established customer base, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so, I think that the biggest focus for I guess growing our app usage is just starting with our loyal existing customers, and giving them incentive and just getting them to try the app, because we found that once customers are willing to move from like MWeb over to the app and see some of the really cool features that we have there and how easy it is to search and book, that they tend to keep coming back. So that's kind of where our app strategy starts, is with our existing loyal customers. But we've also, looked into updating like our app storefront and really trying to leverage the features that we have in the app and build new features. So one example of that is the recent iOS 14 update. There were two new features that we built that we're part of with day one launches with Apple. So the first one is we created an app widget. And so what that does is it allows you to, on your phone home screen, get new deals populated before every weekend. So based on what we know about your user settings, we can send you, this is our best deal coming up for this weekend. And you don't even have to open the app or go to hotwire.com to search. It just populates, and you can see if you feel like taking a spontaneous trip that weekend. So that's a really cool cutting edge feature. There aren't, I think, it's a brand new functionality that launched with iOS 14. So we're really excited about that. Another iOS 14 release that we did was an app clip. And so that pulls out the speed and ease of booking on the app. So you can use some of the app features without actually having to download the entire app. So when you're in the shopping path on Safari, it allows you to use these features really quickly without having to do a full download. So it's kind of like a sample of what our app has to offer. And we certainly hope that customers, after they try that out, will want to download the app and keep coming back to it.
That's really cool. It's good to see companies that have been around for a while starting to, focus on app and moving their users over there, and doing more innovative things. Like, it's really cool to hear. Would love to know too about, like you mentioned, users on MWeb, and obviously Hotwire being a 20-year-old company, focused predominantly, I assume, was on web before this push into app. Like, what are some challenges that you see, and how do you solve those with kind of bridging that gap between those two separate channel or platforms?
Yeah, so I think from a data perspective, Expedia Group and Hotwire are really we're really adamant, and we believe in our DNA that being data driven is the best way to push our business forward. And so I think like getting continuity in all of our data across platforms, it's been an investment, and it's taken some time to get everything flowing the way that we want it to. So, I think with any, especially in both in industry and kind of technology that's rapidly changing, for us to stay on top of things, it just kind of requires a mindset that we want to think of ourselves as an app first company, which, when coming from a place where, a larger share of our transactions and business was based on web in the past, it kind of is motivating us to move things forward and start thinking about app first.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm sure that provides like an added level of flexibility for customers too, who, are looking to you guys to make quick decisions. So, you mentioned those two new features that you have without even having to like open the app directly, making it really easy for consumers to kind of jump in and do what they need to do.
Yeah, definitely. And we have a lot more planned for 2021 when it comes to app features and investments that we're making, to tease a couple of those out. So one is that we want to create exclusive features that are that are basically only available for our most loyal customers, and to really enhance and reward them for continuing to book with Hotwire, and specifically on the app. So that'll all be available on the app. And then, so I guess in addition to creating that loyalty tier, we also want to create new promotional structures. So think about like the most outrageous deals that we can offer this is kind of a play on things that we've done in the past. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar, but we've done things like a $49 sale off of 4-star hotels where Hotwire basically went in and aggressively discounted some our already low and discounted rates, and so you could get a 4-star hotel for $49 a night. It'll be sort of in that mindset, but what we want to do is make it a lot more frequent. So that way customers can keep checking back just to see what types of deals we have to offer. And especially for the last minute, like, again, our customers are always really spontaneous, always up for a road trip. Hopefully next year, I think things are a lot more back to normal in terms of, not having to worry about all these COVID safety concerns, and people can just, have that freedom to make a spontaneous purchase and say, like, I'm going to fly across the country, at the very last minute. So that's really kind of what we want to play on, because that's kind of the spirit of our customers and what they get excited to use Hotwire for.
Absolutely. What are some ways that you're letting customers know of these new deals and promotions? Is it with push? Is it with emails? Is it with ad campaigns? Curious what type of channels you're using.
Thought around that is we've really tried to become more medium agnostic, and as opposed to setting up our campaigns in silos between, for example, email and push. What we want to do is give customers the ability to signal to us on what their preferences are, right? So some customers who are frequently using the app would prefer to receive push notifications because they're quick and that we can get their attention really easily. Whereas other customers prefer, to keep receiving emails for that same type of messaging. And so that's one of the things that we want to do is give customers more choice in terms of like how we're messaging them and what opt-in abilities they have.
I love that. It sounds like it's a theme throughout, just that flexibility, personalization, and driving users into the app. Do you have any, I know we only have a couple more minutes here, would love any last thoughts that you have either around just mobile, the travel industry as a whole, where you think things might be going in the next 6 months? Would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to, the travel industry and where we're going, I think there's obviously a ton of uncertainty. My personal opinion is that leisure travel will come back a lot faster than business travel. You think about like the conversation we're having right now. Like, I think we've become very accustomed to doing things over Zoom and video chat. But when it comes to having a vacation with your friends or family, you can't really replace that with a virtual meeting. There's
no Zoom background that'll get you there.
Exactly. I mean, if we look at all these backgrounds, they're just places that a lot of times we would rather be in real life. So that's what we're hoping to be able to deliver again. So as I mentioned before, our customers all have different levels of readiness and comfort in the current environment. And so we just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to improve our product and our offerings, so that way whenever they're ready to jump back in and start traveling again, that we're there for them.
I love that so much. Well, Lincoln, this has been a pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you so much for your insights and for dropping some knowledge on us today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, likewise. Thanks for having me.